Yeah, did you watch the episode when Tulsi Gabbard got on to defend herself and Joy Behar starts panicking and going over her notes while Tulsi is refuting everything that she said?
Yeah, I mean, Joy Behar, like, again, these people have dementia. These are people who, like, should not be allowed out of the house. They have a national platform. I mean, it is crazy. They have no idea. These people have never read, like, a book.
I agree with mostly everything that's been said. I mean, we know that, only about 31% of Americans trust our healthcare system. We have a terrible healthcare system. And, doctors suffer because of big corporations as well. Doctors that want to do good, like my husband, operates on someone even though they don't have insurance and then has to sue health insurance companies to get paid for the work that he's been trained to do.
Sunny Hostin just tripped headfirst into a $450 million fraud debacle with a starring role, played by none other than her own husband, before she could fake a shocked gasp on the view. Joe Rogan and Bill Maher torched her image from completely different corners of the media universe. One brought cold, surgical facts. The other unleashed sarcasm like a blowtorch. Spoiler, no one offered her a tissue. And Sunny, she's sweating like someone being audited mid-breakup. Hostin, the self-anointed legal authority and queen of daytime moralizing, just got a brutal reminder fraud doesn't come with protective gear. While she was busy scolding America from her cushy studio chair, her husband was allegedly running a high-stakes con, like a real-life fraud tycoon. And the numbers. Not pretend Monopoly bills this was for $150 million in real cash. That's not a typo. That's Wall Street crime meets reality TV drama.
Sorry, but life is random. The only word to describe it when a big game hunter gets trampled by an elephant and then eaten by lions is hilarious.
While Sunny was out here serving up courtroom sass and righteousness on air, her husband may have been flipping fake invoices like pancakes and hiding stacks of money. Like a Vegas illusionist. Shady offshore accounts. Check. Sketchy billing practices. Check. An aversion to tax documents. Triple check. So while Sunny flashed that confident smirk and preached ethics to the nation, her own home may have been a blueprint for financial Houdini acts. And now, she's in the spotlight, no teleprompter, no script, just anxiety and subpoenas. It's daytime TV meets criminal investigation, and she didn't even get a chance to rehearse the meltdown.
The Sunny Hostin that we all love from one of my favorite shows on The View, and it's always, Tom, what'd you always say? It's always the people that always do the pointing, and it always comes back to them, all right? So when you said, this is the largest RICO case ever filed in the state of New York, you guys wrap that around your brain. That's bigger than the mafia case. Like the mafia one was number one. This one takes it over. So he was scamming insurance companies.
Joe Rogan doesn't do polite gossip or subtle shade. He's the guy who threw out conspiracy theories and a neurosurgeon in a room just to watch the sparks fly. So, when he caught wind of Sunny Hostin's $450 million scandal, he didn't blink. He brought a flamethrower. Rogan didn't tiptoe around it. He smashed that story like it was his latest UFC brawl straight to the mat in round one. And the irony? So heavy it might need its own lawyer. A legal analyst, yes. Legal suddenly linked to what sounds like a blueprint for top-tier financial crime. You couldn't make that up without a Netflix producer calling it far-fetched. But Joe zeroed in on what really raised eyebrows the media blackout. The same networks that obsess over celebrity breakups and wardrobe slips suddenly forgot how to report when Sunny's husband hit felony territory.
The View has to be, if you average out the View hosts, among the dumbest people on television. And so it's like they say the thing that people are thinking, but they say it very directly, so they expose whatever truth. But
I don't think some of them are dumb.
You don't think so?
No, I don't think Sunny Hostin.
You think it's deliberate?
I think she's ideologically driven, and they have blinders on, for sure. I don't think Sunny's dumb. But Whoopi is certainly not the brightest person. And what she just said just doesn't make any sense. It's just like so silly to say. It's not a well thought out.
We're talking full media silence, no press releases, no roundtable debates, not even a lazy meme. Joe Rogan pointed out the elephant in the studio. If this were a tech billionaire or a red hat wearing conservative, the media would be in WWE mode. There'd be graphics, countdowns, court montages. But because it's one of their own, just a quick sigh, a pivot, and back to some D-list gossip. It's like the legal drama rang their phones and everyone hit ignore. Rogan didn't just blow the lid off the fraud. He spotlighted the selective outrage that turns certain media darlings into untouchables until they aren't. In classic Joe style, he bulldozed the whole charade, the virtue signaling anchors who act like moral police until the sirens come for their own. Then suddenly it's all respect our privacy and let's not rush to judgment. Meanwhile, their entire careers were built on tearing others down without mercy.
She is not implicated in the lawsuit at all, but it's just, I mean, you're married, Tom, you're married. If your husband's doing something, if he's allegedly doing something like this, you guys would know if your wives were up to some nefarious stuff. But let's just not forget who she is. She's been, for years, lecturing America about morality, inequality, systemic failures, and look at her track record. How many times has she had to go on in the past 2 months and look at the camera and do a legal apology for all the stuff that she said on the show? And then she also, on Trump's win, calling the loss because of uneducated white women that Trump won.
We have to know that. This is accused.
All accused. Yeah, all accused, but he's in the RICO. This is a big RICO case that her husband's in.
While Joe Rogan was tearing through the scandal like a wrecking ball, Bill Maher entered like a calm assassin press suit, drink in hand, and sarcasm sharp enough to draw blood. No yelling, no frantic podcast energy, just a few cool, lethal jabs. He painted Sunny Hostin as a tragic figure, a woman who built her brand on being the embodiment of legal virtue, now caught in a real-life melodrama. Not because she's in cuffs, but because her entire identity is unraveling. When the feds show up asking about vanishing millions, this isn't just a scandal, it's a full-blown credibility collapse. Bill didn't explode, he sliced through the drama like a veteran to tired to fake shock. He didn't roast her. He deconstructed the hypocrisy. This was never just about fraud, it was about the shattering of a carefully curated image. While Rogan brought fire, Maher brought frost. A dry chuckle here, a sigh there like someone watching reruns of Hypocrisy for the 100th time.
Well, I had a different question. But it struck me that in the first segment you used the term woke, and you said that woke is what was sort of ruining everything. And I know that you're...
No, I didn't say ruining everything. I said that's why Trump could get reelected.
That's why Trump could get reelected. Yeah. So the term woke has been, in my view, co-opted by the right and weaponized and bastardized. And so I was surprised to hear you use the term because historically, as you know, because I think you're quite brilliant, that woke is a word used by the black community to note that we must be aware of social injustices.
But words...
This isn't just another headline, it's a masterclass in elite hypocrisy. Let's be honest, if the same fraud scandal involved a conservative senator's spouse, Sunny would have been on air delivering a dramatic soliloquy, tears, props, maybe a lecture on systemic greed. But now, dead air and body language screaming, don't bring it up. Behind the scenes, there's probably an internal ABC memo that reads, do not acknowledge the fact that Sunny's husband is knee-deep in a massive fraud case. Like, seriously, don't even breathe near the courthouse. And Maher, he didn't need to yell the hypocrisy screamed on its own. The same woman who spent years lecturing America on ethics, now trapped in a scandal so massive it should come with a cinematic score. But here's the kicker: when you combine Rogan's wrecking ball energy with Maher's surgical snark, you get a rare moment, two opinion giants from opposite ends actually agreeing. That's when you know it's serious. Not just smoke, this mess has its own zip code and scandal.
Megan, I get it. I also hate Joy Behar. So I don't love you, but I also hate that squawking bird. So I hate the whole thing. And frankly, that show, you want to talk about a show that set women back, is The View. You want to talk about that show. If the CIA is engineering, Antifa and fucking the Capitol riot, some crazy misogynist engineered The View. Because there's nothing worse than The View. In terms of there are so many brilliant women out there. None of them are on The View. None of them have gone near the set of The View. I mean, they have brought in the lowest tier of the, what is it, the Y chromosome?
No, double
X.
Okay. Double X.
They brought in the lowest of the double X's for that one. It's rough.
Joe Rogan and Bill Maher might as well be orbiting different stars, one's floating in a sensory pod, musing over interdimensional mushrooms while the other's furrowing his brow in an HBO studio grumbling about the decline of society. But when the Sunny Hostin scandal hit, both tuned into the same cosmic frequency, full volume disbelief wrapped in mockery. And the real showstopper, Sunny didn't even flinch. While chaos brewed in her living room, she sat under studio lights looking unbothered. Rogan and Maher filled the dead air like vengeful poets, Rogan flinging flames, Maher with enough dry wit to drain a vineyard. Rogan slammed the media as gutless hype men unwilling to break from their clique. Maher painted them as moral yoga instructors stretching reason to dodge obvious facts. Together, they peeled back the glossy curtain on what happens when self-anointed media royalty preach from ivory towers so long, they forget gravity exists, and the View, that shrine of daytime judgment, suddenly caught amnesia. No panel discussion, no subtle segue, just radio silence. Like the FBI showing up at your door is part of your Monday routine.
I want to talk about Whoopi Goldberg because I got so many texts this week because she attacked me the week before.
Sure.
So she was, everybody was like, oh, Bill, I get you're enjoying the karma. First of all, I'm going to talk about this at the end of my show next week, teaser. But there is no fucking thing as karma, okay? Get over that. Whoopi attacks me on a regular basis. She says stupid shit on a regular basis. It just happened to coincide. But can I just...
It was like watching a house burn while the residents insist it's just someone over toasting a bagel. The View didn't just tiptoe around the scandal they ran from it like it was radioactive. The audience was left blinking, wondering when basic accountability got yanked off the rundown. Meanwhile, Maher and Rogan were doing what real commentators are supposed to do, stripping the disguise off. Media hypocrisy and taking a blowtorch to the double standards. Rogan laughed at the absurdity. Maher rolled the arrogance around like it was fine wine. Both delivered a cultural gut check, no fluff, no filters. They made it clear, knowing your way around a charcuterie board doesn't make you exempt from answering hard questions. The elite don't get immunity just because they pronounce some layer correctly. No velvet rope. No moral backstage pass, just the blunt truth. And both men handed it out like free samples.
Strange show, but it's fun to watch. It's just fun to watch them.
It's good entertainment.
Yeah.
Undoubtedly.
Well, they're just, it's interesting because I think Sunny is very intelligent, but she's ideologically captured.
Right.
That's sort of, I think the other ones, there's a couple of the other ones, don't have to name any names, who are just very dull-minded. But I think Sunny's not one of them. I think she's smart but captured.
Sure, I think she came into it with an agenda.
Of course. They do everything with an agenda.
Yeah.
Let's not pretend this was some coordinated attack or conspiracy brewed in the dark corners of the internet. There were no secret memos or pixelated Reddit threads, just facts, glaring optics, and the dead silence of someone who's made a career explaining legal train wrecks, now ignoring the one parked in her own driveway. And that's silence. That was the mic drop. Rogan treated it like a textbook case and unchecked ego. Maher, ever the satirical surgeon, called it poetic tragedy, though. Kind you don't even need to write, because it writes itself. In America, we just sat back, popcorn in hand, watching the ideologues who never agree on anything not in perfect sync. That's when you know it's real. This wasn't just about fraud, it was about a whole ecosystem built on performative, morals collapsing under its own contradictions. While Rogan and Maher hit the buzzer, the media elite were busy rearranging the throw pillows, pretending the foundation wasn't crumbling beneath them.
Isn't it interesting that it's called, I don't think they meant this when Barbara Walters invented it a long time ago, but it's The View.
Well,
that's the problem in America. There is one view,
right, and
one
that's clearly
true opinion, and everybody else can go sit in the corner.
That's correct. I think that's not actually.
If hypocrisy had a frequent flyer program, Sunny Hostin would be racking up miles like a globetrotter. And if Olympic medals were handed out for staying mute during personal scandals, she'd be on the podium, tearfully mouthing the anthem. The View used to treat moral outrage like a buffet, hot, endless, and served with a side of smug facial expressions. Now, that kitchen's mysteriously closed. The same crew that roast everyone from tweeters to toddlers suddenly can't find a single sentence. When the drama hits home, the justice speeches, gone. Ethics monologues, missing. What's left is a suffocating silence that practically screams guilt. When someone in their circle gets hit with a $450 million legal tsunami, the Accountability Act folds faster than a cheap lawn chair. No spin necessary. Just watch what they refuse to say. That's where the real story lives. You can almost hear the producer whisper, "Okay, ladies, today we're doing a hard-hitting segment on criminal justice, except, not the one we're living through."
Saw you on The View.
Yeah. Yeah, so that's been overwhelming my past couple days. So I just went in there, did my thing. I had no idea what to expect. I didn't know who Sunny Hostin was. I actually still really don't know. So I wasn't expecting necessarily for her to kind of try to ambush me in that way and attack my character in that way.
Well, it is the show that people love to hate.
Yes, that's true. That's true.
They get so much hate watching viral clips of them saying ridiculous things. I mean, it is a rabies-infested hen.
Sunny Hostin, daytime TV's legal decoder. suddenly vanishes the moment actual legal heat comes knocking. The timing is almost too ironic to be real. And let's not chalk this up to bad optics. This is starting to look like a manual on elite scandal management if you're part of the inner circle. The skeletons get escorted out the back door during commercial break. If you're not, your dirty laundry is aired in 4K with color commentary. The double standard isn't just obvious, it's blaring. What used to be about truth to power has now become truth. Unless it ruins brunch. Enter Rogan and Maher, two men who couldn't agree on pizza toppings, delivering the same uncomfortable truth. No moral high horses, no crocodile tears, just cold sarcasm and sharper than ever honesty. The kind mainstream media avoids like it's contagious. They didn't just throw punches, they exposed the playbook.
Well, their audience is not really their audience. Their audience is a group of people they bring in to watch television shows. You know, I don't know if you've ever seen audiences before for TV shows, but a lot of them are paid. They're paid to be there. So, because they have to guarantee that there's going to be people there. So there's services that you hire. And when a show gets really, really popular, you know, like Letterman or something like that, obviously it has its own fan base.
Right.
Those people will try to get tickets before anybody else does. And in that case, they probably don't need to use a service anymore. They just get actual fans. But arguably, like, the fans, the real fans of The View that are like, oh, these ladies are on point, most of those people can't leave the house. Like, they're probably immoral.
They said the one thing no one else dared to. If your whole brand is built on moral superiority, then your closet better not be rattling with couture-covered skeletons. And Sunny's, it's practically howling. Meanwhile, her co-hosts are pretending. The AC's acting up while the legal inferno rages right behind them. A $450 million fraud scandal didn't just bruise a reputation, it napalmed the set of performative virtue. This isn't just about one person's fall from grace, it's the unraveling of an entire spectacle. The do as I say, not as I obscure show. Cancelled. The View can't even pretend to be the moral compass. Anymore, it's needles spinning like it's DJ in a nightclub. And here's the ultimate roast. When Joe Rogan and Bill Maher to guys who'd argue over room temperature look at your moral high ground and just start laughing. It might be time to hang up the TED Talk. Someone should pitch a new show whose husband committed massive fraud. Spoiler, we already know. Maybe next week The View will finally touch the word accountability, preferably with a guest expert whose spouse isn't currently inventing new billing scams. Until then, props to Rogan and Maher, the odd couple who reminded us what honest commentary looks like. No script, no spin, just unfiltered truth. And if you see Sunny, tell her the soapbox got repoed probably by the same agents collecting her husband's Cayman accounts. In a world where outrage is capital, it's always the loudest who have the most to hide until the FBI comes knocking. If you're still watching, hit that bell. Trust me, the next episode's going to be even wilder.